Artery.
Okay, with our arteries. We're going to have the same kind of setup, except that we know, if I can get everything out of the way here. Do you see the aortic arch? Right here. Okay, what's the first branch, or actually second branch, off the aortic arch? Brachiocephalic. What would be the first? Coronary arteries. Okay? So, aortic arch coming from left ventricle, past the aortic semilunar into the aortic arch into brachiocephalic. Internal thoracic. Then, here's where it goes a little wonky. Do you see your three splits? Brachiocephalic, right subclavian, right common carotid, and left common carotid. Yes or no, do you see it? Okay. Then, follow your carotids. This would be one carotid. Here is the other carotid. In this cat, they've cleaned it up so far that you can see where the carotid would split. I don't know if you'll be able to see that actually. To an external carotid over here and an internal carotid over here. Okay? Get over it. Once we've got one carotid, we're good. Or actually two carotids. Just wanted to show them to you. Now, the other thing I didn't do with your veins is what I'm going to do with your subclavian. So the names will be the same. What we have is we have our brachiocephalic, here's our carotid. Over here is our left subclavian. Left subclavian is going to perforate the wall to give off axillary because it goes to your armpits. Does that make sense to you? As soon as I perforate wall, do you see it here? Okay, that's going to be the axillary. As soon as I hit the head of the humerus, it's going to become brachial. Brachial will then split, and it's going to give off our radial, which you're going to have a hard time seeing. There's your humerus, okay? So your radial will go around the corner and you'll have your ulnar. Okay. That takes care of that part, except we do have the internal thoracic, and as I said, it's going to come straight towards you. This is internal thoracic or internal mammary. Off of our subclavian, your first branch is here. This is going to be the vertebral on this side. Okay, you see that little tiny one? Okay. Now we take the contents and we're going to shift them. Here is our thoracic or descending aorta. Notice the big piece of plumbing. These are our intercostals. Where are they going to go? They're going to go to the ribs, but what is the groove that they're on? Subcostal groove. Remember that? From way back?
Beginning.
Okay. Now we're going to take Fluffy and we're heading south. Diaphragm. What we need to do now is look for our unpaired vessels. Okay. This is really going to annoy me, but that's all right. As soon as we perforate diaphragm, you see your celiac trunk. Yes? Good. Now, first, hepatic, going to the liver. Here is our gastric. So hepatic, gastric, and this guy is splenic. See how splenic is going to split? It's going to come up and go in that direction. We would have pancreatico-duodenal, etc. from there. Okay. Take your adrenal gland and move it. And what you're going to have is you're going to have your adrenal lumbar. Move your kidney, and here would be your renal. Typically, you're going to see the arteries and veins go together. Not a big deal. Next, we're going to bury the abdominal aorta in towards the musculature. Now, I forgot to mention, sorry about that, here is our celiac trunk. We have another unpaired vessel right here. What's that one? Superior mesenteric. It's going to give off your intestinal arteries. Can you see them? Right here. And it's going to your ileocecal valve. Right there. Then we do our renal, we bury our lumbars, and they're not taken out particularly well, if at all. So I'm not going to be overly concerned with lumbars. They're kind of cute though. They're right there. Okay, iliolumbar. Now this is where our double upside down Y comes in. After our iliolumbar and way after our inferior mesenteric. The inferior mesenteric is going to go to the descending colon and the rectum. See it? It's going to give off left colic, and it's going to also give off some other structures which I don't think you're going to need to know.
So that one you're holding right there is the
Inferior mesenteric.
Okay.
Left colic goes up towards you, towards the superior surface. Then, here we go. Iliolumbar. Now, external iliac. Do you see the first split? Then this little centerpiece right here is your common iliac. Then we do internal iliac, and then finally look way down there. See it? That's your caudal or median sacral. Our external iliac continues and is going to perforate the abdominal wall, sending off our deep fem. Then we do femoral. So arteries away, veins toward. Questions? Got it?
For the
Okay.
practical, was she gonna do like have like a clipper on it? Like
Oh,
we-
it'll be clipped.
It will be clipped. Okay. So are we able to move it?
Somewhat,
Okay.
because they do fracture.
Yeah. I just figured they're so small.
The veins are going to be much larger than the arteries,
Okay.
but just be careful with the plumbing.